I love traveling to different countries and experiencing their unique cultures, especially when it comes to food and drinks. One of my absolute favorite things to do is visit local cafés and coffee shops and try their specialty drinks. I've been lucky enough to travel all over the world, and I've been able to try coffee in many different countries. Now, before I go any further, let me just say that there are two things that I always get when I go to a new place for the first time. First is an espresso. That way I can get a feel for what the quality of the coffee is like. And second, I always get something with milk, because I want to see how they treat their dairy. A lot of countries do unuse their milk to its full potential, and oftentimes it's not very tasty. But some countries really know how to use it. Okay, so here we go. Number 10. Turkey. Turkish coffee is unlike any other coffee that I have ever tried. It's made by boiling finely ground coffee beans with water and then adding milk or milk and sugar after it is brewed. The coffee itself is very strong and has a thick, almost syrupy consistency. It's also incredibly flavorful, with notes of chocolate and spice. Now, typically, the grounds are reused multiple times throughout the day to stretch out the supply, which may be why they add milk and sugar to it. In general, it's not uncommon for Turks to drink several cups of coffee in a single sitting. This style of coffee is not really for everyone, but if you're looking for an intense, rich, and flavorful cup of coffee, definitely give Turkish coffee a try. No. 9. Austria. Now, when I visited Vienna, I was pleasantly surprised at how much they enjoyed their coffee. They really take their coffee seriously there. They even have a special term for it called Einspänner. This is basically a small cafe that serves up quick and inexpensive coffee, and is considered to be the birthplace of the Viennese coffeehouse culture. So when I was there, I obviously had to try it out. The coffee itself was really good and had a nice balance between the acidity and the bitterness. It was also really refreshing, thanks to the addition of ice. Overall, I was really impressed with the quality of the coffee and the service. If you're ever in Vienna, I highly recommend checking out one of their many Einspänner locations. You won't be disappointed. No. 8. Hungary. Taco. Okay, so while we're on the topic of Europe, let's talk about Hungary. Specifically, I'm talking about Budapest, which is known for its beautiful architecture, rich history, and, of course, delicious coffee. Hungarian coffee is known for being strong and flavorful with a thick layer of foam. It's often served with a slice of apple pie or another pastry. And the atmosphere in the cafes is usually very relaxed and inviting. I remember walking into a small cafe in the Jewish quarter and immediately feeling welcomed. The barista even gave me free samples of different types of coffee to try. And of course, I couldn't say no to that. The coffee itself was really smooth and creamy, and it was the perfect pick-me-up after a long day of sightseeing. Number 7. Greece. When I first arrived in Greece, I noticed that people were drinking a lot of iced coffee, and I thought it was because of the hot weather. But it turns out that Greeks drink iced coffee year-round. Now, the most popular type of iced coffee in Greece is called frappe. It's made with instant coffee, water, sugar, and milk, and it's blended with ice until it's frothy and foamy. Honestly, I wasn't sure what to expect when I tried it, but I was pleasantly surprised. It was really refreshing, and it had a nice balance between the sweetness and the bitterness. It was the perfect summer drink. However, I did notice that frappe is not only popular in Greece, but also in other Mediterranean countries such as Italy and Spain. Maybe that's a video for another day. Let me know down below if you'd like to see it. But yeah, if you ever find yourself in Greece, definitely give frappe a try. Number 6. Vietnam. Now this one might surprise some people, but coffee is actually huge in Vietnam. They grow high-quality Arabica beans in the Central Highlands, and they roast them to perfection. Vietnamese coffee is known for being strong and bold with a rich, dark color. It's often served with a sweet, condensed milk that adds a unique flavor and creaminess to the brew. But what really sets Vietnamese coffee apart is the way it's brewed. Instead of using a traditional drip coffee maker, they use a metal filter called a fin. This allows the coffee to slowly drip into a glass cup, which keeps it nice and hot. I remember walking into a small cafe in Hanoi and ordering a cup of coffee. The owner even showed me how they make it using a tiny little stove and a little pot. It was so cool. I was really impressed with the quality of the coffee and the hospitality of the people. Definitely a memorable experience. Number 5. Brazil. Okay, so this one is pretty obvious because Brazil is one of the largest coffee producers in the world. so it only makes sense that they would know how to make a good cup of coffee. Brazilian coffee is known for being smooth and well-balanced with a rich, full body and notes of caramel and chocolate. It's often served with sugar and milk, and it's typically enjoyed after a meal or as a midday pick-me-up. I remember going to a small cafe in São Paulo and ordering a cup of coffee. It was really nice to be able to try a coffee that was grown locally. The coffee itself was really smooth and had a nice balance between the acidity and the bitterness. It was also really refreshing, thanks to the addition of ice. Overall, I was really impressed with the quality of the coffee and the atmosphere in the cafe. No. For Colombia. Colombian coffee is famous all over the world for its high quality and rich flavor. The country has a long history of coffee production dating back to the 18th century. In fact, Colombia is one of the most popular coffee brands in the U.S., and many people associate it with superior taste and high quality. I remember going to a small cafe in Bogotá and ordering a cup of Colombian coffee. The barista took the time to explain the different types of coffee that they offered, and even gave me a sample of one of their most popular blends. The coffee itself was really smooth and had a nice balance between the acidity and the bitterness. It was also really refreshing thanks to the addition of ice. I also got to try some local pastries, which were absolutely delicious. No. 3. United States. Okay. I know that there are some people who don't think that the U.S. does coffee very well, but I disagree. I think that the U.S. has some amazing coffee shops that serve up high-quality drinks. Starbucks is probably the most well-known coffee shop in the U.S., and they have a wide variety of drinks to choose from. But I personally prefer smaller, more independent coffee shops. They tend to have more unique and interesting drinks that are worth trying. In terms of coffee itself, the U.S. actually imports a lot of different types of beans from all over the world. This means that you can find a wide variety of flavors and roasts at your local coffee shop. Personally, I love trying new and interesting types of coffee, and the U.S. definitely offers a lot of options for that. No. 2. Canada. Now, I'm not sure if this is surprising to people outside of Canada, but coffee is really big in Canada. We love our coffee, and we take it very seriously. In fact, I would say that Canada has some of the best coffee in the world. There is a growing trend towards specialty coffee in Canada, which means that there are more and more coffee shops popping up that serve up high-quality, ethically sourced, and expertly roasted coffee. I remember going to a small coffee shop in Vancouver and ordering a cup of coffee. The barista was really knowledgeable about the different types of coffee that they offered, and was able to answer all of my questions. The coffee itself was really smooth and had a nice balance between the acidity and the bitterness. It was also really refreshing, thanks to the addition of ice. Overall, I was really impressed with the quality of the coffee and the service. And finally, no. 1. Italy. Okay. I know that this one might be obvious to some people, but I really think that Italy deserves the top spot on this list. Italian coffee is world-renowned for its quality and flavor. The country has a long and rich history of coffee making, dating back to the 17th century. And today there are countless coffee shops and bars all over the country serving up delicious espresso, cappuccino, and other coffee specialties. So when I was in Italy, I obviously had to try a lot of coffee. It was my duty. I was really blown away by the quality and flavor of the coffee. The espresso was rich and robust, with a deep, dark color and a thick layer of crema on top. The cappuccino was smooth and creamy, with a nice balance between the espresso and the steamed milk. And the other coffee drinks that I tried were equally delicious. All right, so there you have it. Those are some of the best places to get coffee around the world. Did I miss your favorite place? If so, let me know down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.